Hi guys, my name is Becca and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be wrapping up the month of April. I finally am doing my April wrap up. It's just the beginning of May and just feel like I've been wanting to talk about these books for a while now. So yeah. Of course, before we get into the books, I'm going to be talking about all the movies, TV shows, anime, and video games that I enjoyed. For the month, I consumed over the month. Of course, before we get into that, so I've talked about this in other videos, but I just want to say it again. I did not make a middle of the month wrap up for April. I started in March and I didn't do it in April, but that was only because I'd have a separate wrap up for the superhero readathon that I did. Which was the last week of March and the first week of April. And it would have literally been the first week of April wrap up. Then the second week of April would have been the middle of the month wrap up. And then, 2 weeks later, here's another April wrap up. I didn't want to do that. Also, I didn't read a lot in that 1 week. So I just figured, let's just incorporate all 3 weeks into one wrap up because I didn't really read a lot anyway in the course of the whole month of April, excluding the superhero readathon, because I just read a ton then. Let's just get on to the wrap-up. I'm going to link the superhero readathon wrap-up down below. Okay, so before we get into the books, let's get on to everything else. We're going to start with movies this month because I didn't watch any. I didn't go to see any. I didn't watch any. Just did not happen. Well, I did technically watch one, and that was that was a rewatch of The Greatest Showman. It finally came out on DVD. I bought it. I watched it that day. Yeah, what can I say? I love. I am obsessed with that movie. Okay, TV shows. Yeah, we need to talk. So, this was the first month since the beginning of the year that it didn't happen. I didn't binge watch a show like I wanted to. I didn't even think I really had one set in my mind to binge watch. It was like the last week of April, and I had just realized that I didn't watch anything except for my DVR. I was clearing out my DVR, so technically I binged, but I didn't binge watch a particular show. I was nearing 70% in my DVR, which, if you don't own a DVR or anything like it, once you reach, like, maximum capacity, so it's like 90 to 100%, it starts deleting things. It starts deleting shows from your box, and you're like, no, you can't do that. So, I wanted to clear that out, and I did. I did really well, and I cleared out the entire box, pretty much, at least of all my shows. I have some movies or whatever that I'm saving in there. So that, but at least I got all my shows out of there, so I got it down to like 12%, which was fantastic. But that also meant that I just didn't binge watch a show. I'm hoping to double up in a month, but I'm hoping to double up a certain month. One of the months, I don't know, but I'm hoping to at least watch maybe 2 shows that month. In a month. This is so hard for me to say. But yeah, it didn't happen this month. Hopefully one of the other months I'll double up, but we'll see. Okay. I did do really well with the last 2 categories before the books, which was anime and video games. Let's start with anime. So, anime, I watched 2 new animes. They had actually just really released. There's only a few episodes of each. I watched them both on Crunchyroll. I think it's really the only place that I know that you can watch them. You might be able to find another site. I'm not entirely sure. But that's platform I watched them on. The first one's called Hinamatsuri. That is an anime that my brother recommended to me. He said it was really funny. He's really enjoyed it. That I should watch it. So I did, and I like it. I think it's pretty good. It's about, okay, so it's really weird. Okay, it's a really weird one. But it's about this girl who just magically appears in, like, she teleports into our world. You don't know where she's from. You don't know what, you know, her world looks like or what she's like there. You just literally see her pop up into this Yakuza's apartment, and just stuff happens. Like, you know, he finds out she's telekinetic, and when she's not happy, she breaks his vases, and believe me, he spends a lot of yen on each vase. So when she just breaks his collection, because he collects them, she just breaks his entire collection, he's not happy. But he decides to take her in and raise her. She's like a little girl. Of course, he's a grown man, so he decides to take her in and, you know, raise her, kind of. But again, he's dealing with the fact that she's telekinetic and she can get what she wants. You know, she gets away with what she wants. There's 5? There's 5 episodes so far. The, what's it called? The 5th episode just aired today. So I watched it this morning, and it's good. It's funny at times. There are moments where I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, what is going on? Like, what? Let me just tell you, there's a middle schooler who's a bartender. Like, she gets blackmailed into being a bartender. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. There's shenanigans happening. It's funny at times. I like it. I think it's good. I mean, I'd give it like a middle thumb. It's good. I'm going to continue watching it until it starts to, like, really irritate me, and then I'm just going to stop. But hopefully it'll, you know, continue being okay. Continue being good. My brother really absolutely loves it. I like it. So yeah. The other anime I want to talk about is called, let me see if I can do this right, Kakui? I think. It's Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. This one, I believe, is only on Crunchyroll. You have to have a premium membership to watch it, so you have to actually have the membership with them to watch it. At least that I know of, because, yeah, I had to get it just to watch that. Yeah. Okay, so this one is about, and this one my friend recommended to me, because he saw it, like, the first episode, and really, really enjoyed it, and he's like, you need to pick this up, because this is really good. So, yeah. So this is about a girl who can see ayakashi, which are, like, demon spirits. She's been able to see them since she was really young. When she was really young, her mother abandoned her because of what, you know, because of her ability. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. Because of her ability. And she ends up moving in with her grandfather, who also has this ability, and he can go between realms. There's the hidden realm of the Ayakashi, and then there's, of course, our realm, which I can't remember what they call it. There's a name for it, but I can't remember. But then he passes away, you know, years later, like present day, the anime. He passes away, and our main character, which I cannot remember her name. Oh my god, I can't remember her name. Aoi? It's Aoi. I can't remember how to pronounce it. I was able to pronounce it, like, last week, but I can't think of it now. Aoi? I don't know. Okay, so she is transported into the hidden realm of the Ayakashi. And this ogre lord tells her, by the way, he's really good looking. For an anime character, he's really good looking. Just to let you know. He tells her that her grandfather owes this really massive debt. Because he was a gambler, and he owes him a massive debt. And her grandfather kind of sells her to this ogre lord because he didn't pay it back. And he died before he was able to pay it back, so now she must marry this ogre lord. She's not happy. She's really upset. That's not gonna happen. He takes her in, he gives her all the comforts. She's still never gonna marry him, so he kind of kicks her out. She decides that instead of marrying him, she's gonna try and work, find work and pay off her grandfather's debt. I love this anime so much. I still have 2 episodes to watch because I just haven't been able to watch it. And for some reason, I saw Hinamatsuri and I watched that one. Yeah. I haven't been able to watch the last couple episodes of Kakui, but I definitely really want to. I'm in love with this anime. I love just everything about it. Oh my god. It's so good. I just love this play. I just love it. So yeah, that one gets a big thumbs up. I'm really glad my friend knows me. He knows my tastes. And he's like, you're definitely gonna love this. You should definitely pick it up. And yeah, I did. So it's amazing. If you don't have a Crunchyroll membership, I think there's a free trial. You could probably just pick that up. I don't know how long the free trial is. Sometimes it's 7 days, sometimes it's 14 days, sometimes it's a whole month. So yeah, and I think each month it's like $6.50. It's not entirely awful. I mean, if you're willing to spend the money, I definitely recommend doing it and watching this anime because it's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys, but I really recommend it. I absolutely love it. And I do recommend Hinamatsuri if you really like the crazy, kind of weird type of ones. Like, it's like really crazy. But it's good. I mean, it's not awful. But yeah, hopefully it gets better throughout the anime. Okay, lastly, video games before books. Video games. Okay, I played one video game. Okay, it came out April 20th. Well, April 19th technically for me because I pre-ordered it and I got it that night. Yes. Oh my god. If you follow video games, you probably know what this is already. I've already beaten it. Okay? God of War 4. Yeah. This is my favorite God of War game of all time. I love God of War. I love the entire series. I also got the what's it called? The Collector's Edition Strategy Guide. I love strategy guides and I love collector's editions of them. I mean, it's God of War and I had to have it, and yeah. It's really nice. Also, where is it? It came with a skin for my, if you got this, it comes with a skin for your PS4 controller. I'm not the best at putting these on, so mine looks like crap, but, I was really happy to find that. So yeah, this game is absolutely fantastic. It follows Kratos in Norse mythology. He's in Midgard, and you can go throughout the realms. There's Niflheim, Muspelheim, I think is how you call it, Alfheim, Helheim. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this. At first, you're only using the Leviathan axe, which is a weapon you get at the very beginning of the game. It's not one that you know of. It's a brand new weapon that we've never had before. And then halfway through the game, you get your Blades of Chaos back. To my babies. I love those. I love those weapons. You also meet the World Serpent, and it's just absolutely fantastic. I love this so much. Kratos has a son. His name is Atreus. This is set after 3, which, if you ever played God of War, you know that 3 ended in a way that they weren't going to make any more games. They made Ascension after, but that was a prequel to the entire series. But then they came out with 4, which technically shouldn't have happened, but it's all good because they explain it away and it's all fine. But yeah, Kratos remarries, he has a son, and now Kratos and Atreus are on a journey to find the highest peak in the realms, climb to the highest peak in the realms, so they could scatter Atreus' mother's ashes, because Kratos' wife, apparently, yeah, she dies. It's the very beginning of the game, it's all good. But yeah, she died, and they want to scatter her ashes, and it's just, a lot of stuff happens. I mean, you fight gods and demons, and yeah, it's crazy, and I love it. It was so good. It was the best game. It's still really, it's a pretty lengthy game compared to all the other ones, and even though I've completed it, I still want to go back and do a lot of the side missions, because this game actually has side missions, which all the other games really didn't. Not that I remember of. But yeah. And I normally hate games with side missions, but I freaking love this. So yeah, this gets definitely like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. There are moments where I was really upset with Kratos because he's just not father material, but he gets really, really good at the end. And I understand why he was kind of distant from his son, and I understand, you know, he's trying to be harder on his son so his son can be prepared to journey the world alone. Because I have a feeling, you know, I'm not saying it happens in this game, but I definitely have a feeling that Kratos is old, okay? He's very, very old, and even though he's a god, it's getting to him, so just, yeah. This is a fantastic game. Absolutely loved it. Just so good. Okay, now we can actually get on to the books. I really didn't want this to be a long video, but apparently it's going to be, and I'm really sorry. I only read 7 books in the month of... Okay. I only read 7 books in the month of April. And I pretty much got through almost all of my TBR, except for one, which was The Force of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. This is the only one I didn't get to, and I actually had a reason for that. I am moving this to another month's TBR because I have a certain theme, and I found out that this one actually kind of meets that theme, and I needed more books for that theme, so I decided to save that. Okay, the first 2 books I'm just going to lump in together. The first one is Flame in the Mist by Renee Adia, and the second is Crown of Wishes by Roshani Chokshi. Both authors have written books that I've really enjoyed, but these were not ones that I enjoyed from them. This one is set in a whole nother world from her other series, which is the Wrath of the Dawn duology. This is about Mariko. She comes from a prominent samurai family, and she's on her way to marry the son of the emperor. And on her way there, she is attacked. Her convoy is attacked, and her entire retinue is killed. She is left for dead. She was the target. She doesn't know why she was attacked, and she finds, she hears rumors that it was this one clan, the Black Clan, that did it. So she decides to dress up as a boy and infiltrate their clan to find out why. And then there's a romance in this. I was really bored throughout the beginning. The first half was just really boring to me. The second half got slightly better, but then it had that romance that I just did not like. She has a romance with someone in the Black Clan. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to tell you who. But I just don't see how she could do that when she thinks that they are the ones who tried to kill her. I just don't see how that was possible. And there was really nothing that she found out that made her doubt them. I mean, she had a slight doubt, but she still wholly believes that they were responsible. She's still trying to find out why they wanted to do it, even throughout the end. I just did not like it. Also, there's multiple perspectives. It just kind of jumps around, and it's not really marked who the perspective is, in the very beginning. I like how, I have, oh no, that doesn't have it. No, I guess, wait, this one does. This one actually does. Okay. I like how in certain books, it gives you the name of the character when they switch characters. I like that. This one didn't do that at all. And then it goes a couple paragraphs before you actually find out it's a whole different character. Yeah. I mean, I'm confused throughout the first couple paragraphs, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's because it's this character. Okay. And I didn't really care for any of the other characters. I just didn't care for anything really in this book. I gave it a 2.5. That's all I'm going to say. And then Crown of Wishes. Same thing. The first half was really boring, and the second half got slightly better. I did like the romance in this one. The very end I really enjoyed, but it still was just a 2.5 star for me. This one follows, I mean, this is a companion to the Star Touch Queen, which I really enjoyed. This follows Gori, I don't know how to say her name, but she's the sister of the main character, Star Touch Queen. And she was really young in that book, and now she's older. And her and a prince of another kingdom go on this journey. They enter the trials to try and win. Like, they're going to another world, and they try to enter these trials to try to win a wish, because they're both dealing with things in their own kingdoms, and they need to fix those, really. And I really just did not like this. I really wanted to. I loved the Star Touch Queen. I really loved the writing. And the writing was pretty good in this, but I just found myself really bored throughout the entire book. And a lot of people said this one was much better than the first book, which in my mind, that just was not. Yeah, this is a 2.5 star book for me, and it only got that 0.5 stars because of the very end, and I really liked how the romance kind of fit together at the end, or wrapped up at the end. But yeah, I mean, no, I didn't like it. Let's see. Next one I have is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. Oh, and just to remind you, this was my 12 books to read in 2018. So a book a month, and I read this one. At least that one's done. And I've had that book on my shelf for quite a while, so I'm glad to finally get that done. The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This is about a girl named Alice. Her and her mother have been on the run for as far as she can remember. Not really on the run, but they've been moving a lot. Seems like they're on the run. Alice knows that her grandmother wrote these fairy tales, these really dark fairy tales, and she's never met her grandmother. Her grandmother lives in this mansion called the Hazelwood, and she writes these fairy tales about the hinterland, which Alice has always believed is fake. But one day her mother is stolen away, and the ones who are taking her are claiming that they are from the hinterland. That they come from that, those fairy tales. So at the very beginning of this was really good. I was like really captivated. I was really enjoying it. It got to this certain point, I think it was like halfway through, where I was just not liking it. I just felt like there was kind of a predictability about some of it, and I just really wasn't caring for it. And I really did not like the ending at all. I think there is a sequel to this, but I don't really know if I really want to pick it up. And also, I meant to say, I don't think I'm going to be continuing on with this series. I might, one day pick it up, but that would be from the library. They also changed the covers, which I got really upset by. Look at this gorgeous cover. Like, the book isn't that great, but look at this gorgeous cover, okay? They changed it to these really, in my opinion, awful covers, and I just got really upset. But, yeah, I didn't really like this. But if I do end up picking up the sequel, it would be from the library. It would not be from there. But yeah, same thing for this. If I ended up picking up the sequel, it would be from the library. But I don't think I really want to, because I did not like the end. And, again, like, the second half was just, eh. I really enjoyed the first half, though. Yeah. Oh, and I gave this 3 stars. 3.5 stars. Yeah. Okay, next up I have Shah and the End of Time by Roshani Chokshi. Yeah. I really enjoyed this. Okay, this is the first in Rick Riordan's new imprint, Rick Riordan Presents. And it really follows in the same vein as Rick Riordan, all of his other books, like all of his books. But this is like Hindu mythology, and it's written by, of course, a different author. And they were comparing this as like Sailor Moon meets Percy Jackson, which I can see. Like, I can see it. I just wasn't exactly like thrilled by the comparison. I don't know. I can sort of see it, but yeah. This is about a girl named Aru. She goes to this really, like, prestigious school, like a rich kind of school, and everyone, like all of the class, like all of her classmates are talking about where they're going, like the vacations that they're going on, and she doesn't really have all these vacations to go on. So she lies and she says she's going on all these certain places and doing all these really cool things, but really she is just spending her break. Like, they say they're going like all these really cool places. She's actually just spending her break at home, which is the Museum of Ancient Indian Art and Culture that her mom curates, but she lives there. So during the break, these three classmates meet her at home. They want to catch her in a lie, and they dare her to light this lamp that Aru's always known never to light. There's a reason for it, but Aru decides to light it, and she awakens the sleeper, which is this like ancient evil who is intent on awakening the god of destruction. And Aru's mom and classmates are frozen in time. Like, they're like, the entire world is starting to freeze in time, and Aru has to find these, oh my god, like, what are they? These like legendary heroes. They're called the Pandava brothers, but they are reincarnated. They're reincarnated into our world, and Aru ends up being one of them. And there's 5 altogether, so that's kind of how you get the Sailor Moon aspect. There's 5 reincarnated heroes. Yeah. Oh, and there's a pet guide, like Luna from Sailor Moon, which is a cat, but in this, it's a pigeon. Yeah, it's a freaking pigeon. It was funny, it was cute, it was kind of like, at times, but I did really enjoy it. I really love this cover. This cover's gorgeous. I gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy it overall, and I'm glad that I read it, and I can't wait for the sequel. Next up, I have Love in Other Words by Christina and Lauren. I met Christina and Lauren, and they signed a book for me, as well as a lot of other ones that I have on the side of me. This is their new, like, foray into women's fiction, like chick lit. And it's about this girl named Macy. It's about Macy and Elliot. So Macy, it jumps back in between, like, present day and then, like, in the past, up until about 11 years ago. So it starts, like, 15 years ago, and then up to 11 years ago, which is when Macy and Elliot split. So Macy and Elliot were, like, really good friends for a few years, started to delve into something more, but then something happens 11 years ago that they just stopped talking, and you don't know what it is. And so now, 11 years later, Macy has moved on. She's about to marry this one guy. She sees Elliot again, and they kind of, you know, they get to talking, and they get, other stuff. She starts to realize, is she over Elliot, or is she just settling for this other guy? Yeah. I really enjoyed this. I really loved it. I cried, like, a lot. It really, I mean, you really see, like, a lot of these important parts in this girl's life. I mean, her mother, in the very beginning of this book, her mother has passed away. Or, like, in the very beginning of, like, her life that you see, her mother has passed away. And her father takes her to this cabin, and that's where, like, he buys this cabin, he takes her away, and it's like their weekend getaway kind of thing. Like, anytime that she needs to get away, they go there, and that's where she meets Elliot. It's just so fantastic. There's just really touching moments that literally break my heart, and I loved it. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I really suck at talking about, like, synopses of the books, but I'm not kidding how much I absolutely love this book. I love Elliot so much. Like, they both made mistakes, and I mean, they were young, so it was okay. They were only, like, 15, 16, and I love them both, and it's just fantastic, and I absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. Next up was a reread, and that was The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertelli. I wanted to reread this before Leon the Offbeat came out. I absolutely loved it. I've talked about this before. This is a companion to Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda, but it doesn't follow any of the characters you know from that book. It follows cousins of one of the characters in that book that live in a totally different state. But it's just fantastic. I love this book so much. I think the second time around, I liked it. I loved it a lot more than I read it the first time, and I gave it 5 stars either way. But I just appreciated it more, and I absolutely loved it. And the romance in this is always so good. The romance in all of Becky Albertelli's are really good. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah. I mean, this will never beat Simon for me. Simon is my favorite book from Becky Albertelli. Yeah, hands down. But I really, really enjoy all of her books, and I end up giving them all 5 out of 5 stars, which, hint, hint, I read Leah. 5 out of 5 stars. Just for, until we get to May. Yeah, you'll see. Alright, lastly, I read The Wish Granter by C.J. Redwine. This is the companion to Shadow Queen. So they're all set in the same world. It's Ravenspire. So this is a Ravenspire novel. Here's the map, by the way. I love these. They're all set in the same world, but they're like totally different characters and different like fairy tales. So the first one was like Snow White. This one, The Wish Granter, is Rumpelstiltskin. And the third one, The Traitor Prince, is like the Prince and the Pauper. This one, so the Shadow Queen I really, really loved. I did not expect to really enjoy that. I didn't expect to enjoy this either, because it's Rumpelstiltskin, and I've never really been the hugest fan of his story, and I've always wanted to see how it could be done, and oh boy did I. Oh boy. Okay, so this follows 2 characters, Thad and Ari, their brother and sister. They're on the run, so they're bastard children of the king, and they're on the run because his queen, his wife, their stepmother, kind of, wants them dead, because she just had a child, and she wants no contention for the throne. So she sends her hunters to kill them. The hunters end up killing their mother, and, oh my god, Rumpelstiltskin ends up, well, his name is Alistair Teague, and he ends up finding Thad and telling him that he can stop the hunters, but he needs to make a deal with him, and the only way that Alistair will stop the hunters from, from killing them is if Thad becomes king, if he takes the throne. So Thad makes a deal, the royal family is killed, Thad takes the throne, and Ari becomes princess. But in doing that, Thad now only has 10 years before Alistair takes his soul and kills him. And when Ari finds out about this, she goes on this kind of, adventure / quest to find a way to kill Alistair. And she just stop him from killing Thad, but she has to kill him in order to do that. And she enlists the help of Sebastian, who is the weapons master. Yeah. Fan-fricking-tastic. I love this book so much. This book was so good. I absolutely loved it. I can't tell you how much I loved it. Oh my god. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This was so brutal and so dark in ways. Like, literally, you just could not see, like, when Alistair killed people, it was brutal. Oh my god. He one time burnt down his shop just for talking, like, for, helping, sort of, to stop him. It wasn't as bad, but, I mean, it wasn't, like, they didn't help a whole ton, but, yeah, I mean, they sort of did. Unintentionally, I guess. And he burned down the entire shop with people inside. Yeah. It was insane. I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. Love this series. Okay, I'm done. That's it. That's all of it. I'm so sorry this is 35 minutes. I really tried to make this short. That just did not happen. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. And I'll see you again with probably another wrap up. So, bye. Have a good day.